So in this short video, I'm going to go over how I put my skate lace toe ties onto my pad. So when I had switched to skate lace about a year ago, there's a lot of videos about how to put toe ties on, but I had to really like experiment what worked with me, like what length to use, what type of skate lace to use, how to even put it around my skates. So I'm going to go over basically what I do for my setup here. So of course, the first thing you're going to have to do is get yourself some skate lace. I've found that a 72-inch unwaxed skate lace has worked the best. And where you actually lace your toe bridge is going to be really up to personal preference. Just keep in mind that the location of where you actually loop your lace through is going to make your pad sit more flat up and down or more overlap. So generally, if you lace through the furthest to the outside, so this is the outside of the pad, if you lace it through these ones, it's going to have more overlap. Whereas if you put it on the two on the inside of the pad, your pad's going to sit a bit more straight up and down. For now, I'm actually just going to lace them right through the middle. All right, so nothing too crazy there. Just loop it through the toe bridge. Just make sure that you have an even amount on both ends as you loop that through. All right, let's zoom in here and I'll show you guys like how I tie this thing up. Okay, so the next thing I'll generally do is I'm just going to put 2 knots like this. That way that stays firm in place. And now is going to be like how much slack do you actually want on your toe tie. So this is again going to be one of those things that is really up to personal preference. So as a rule of thumb, I'll just pull my skate lace to generally the edge of the pad, and then I'll place my knot like right over here. That way this is going to allow me to hit the ice with my toe when I'm in my butterfly. So just keep in mind when you're doing your slack amount, the more slack that you have, the more likelihood the pad's actually going to ride up your leg as you go down in a butterfly. So that can actually give you more of a butterfly seal. The caveat to that is the more slack that you have, like say you had like a ton of slack like this, your pad's going to feel pretty sloppy. So for today, I'm actually going to go for a bit more of an extreme toe hang. So normally I would place a knot right over here, right at the edge, but this time I'm going to put a little bit more like out here. Because I'll actually do 2 knots. So I'm just going to get 1 knot like this, kind of just like line it up. So we'll do a bit more of an extreme toe hang this time. So we'll do something like that. And then we'll do another knot. So I find doing knots like this, 2 single knots like that, it's going to allow you to easily like undo this if you want to change the amount of slack or maybe go back to bungees and kind of experiment with that. I used to take my lace like this and then do like a full knot with both like that. But it's actually really, really hard to untie that to the point where I've just had to cut my toe tie because it's just so hard to kind of undo it. So this is how much slack I actually have on this pad here. So this is pretty long because again, I'm looping from the middle here. If I were to loop it through the 2 on the inner edge, this would actually be a lot shorter. But this feels like a pretty good, like, I don't know, 4 or 5 inches maybe, which is a little bit longer than I normally use, but I want to just try to experiment with a longer toe hang this time. So the next thing is I'm going to show you guys like basically how I loop this around my skate. I'm looping through the first hole and then the middle hole. And you want to really make sure that this thing is tight and snug as much as you can. So what I used to do was I would actually just leave it at that and then try to loop up top. But then now you'll see that this is actually really just too low on the skate and I'll kind of start falling down and then unraveling during a game. So instead, what we're going to do is actually just loop it to the back of the skate like this. And that's going to be really, really secure, and that's definitely not going to fall down at all. So that in a nutshell is basically how I do my skate lace setup. Hope you guys enjoyed it and hope that helps out. Thanks for watching.